Nottingham Forest's dismal run of form under Ange Postecoglou continued with a 2-0 loss away at Newcastle United. Nottingham Forest wanted a foul on Morgan Gibbs-White in the build-up to Newcastle United's first goal, which was well taken by Bruno Guimaraes. Postecoglou was criticised by Jamie Carragher as his woeful run of form continues, stretching back to his time at Tottenham last season. Reports in the week suggested that, should they lose to Newcastle, Nottingham Forest would look to sack Postecoglou over the international break. Ange Postecoglou has lost 30 of his last 49 Premier League games. Credit to Mega Robert Earnshaw demands respect for Ange Postecoglou. Postecoglou took the reins in the East Midlands after Nuno Espirito Santo's sacking, which followed a row behind the scenes at the club. Nottingham Forest are yet to win under Postecoglou, though, going winless in 8 in all competitions, earning just 2 draws so far under the Australian. Speaking on BBC Radio 5 Live, former Nottingham Forest player Robert Earnshaw spoke about Postecoglou's short spell at the club. Earnshaw said, "I just think we've got to give the respect to Ange Postecoglou, just to give him time, because he's only been 3.5 weeks. He's got to start winning for sure, but I also think he's got a bit of extra time." Robert Earnshaw questions Postecoglou's appointment but understands the need for change. Earnshaw went on to discuss the sacking of Nuno and the impact his sacking will have on the legacy of Evangelos Marianiakis at the club. Ange Postecoglou's last 5 games at Nottingham Forest score: Burnley vs Nottingham Forest 1-1, Real Betis vs Nottingham Forest 2-2, Nottingham Forest vs Sunderland 0-1, Nottingham Forest vs Midtjylland 2-3, Newcastle United vs Nottingham Forest 2-0. Ange Postecoglou has had a woeful start. Earnshaw said, "A few years ago, Forest were 7th from bottom in the championship and now they're playing in Europe, and that's under his, Evangelos Marianiakis, ownership. Yes, they have had lots of managers, he moved things and changed managers. I think this is probably the worst one. He probably didn't want him, Nuno Espirito Santo, to go actually, but he had to almost make the decision. Nuno is very popular in Nottingham, they love him, but they also love Marianiakis, so that whole fallout was the fans caught in the middle thinking, we love both of these, what's going on, we don't want this, we want both of you to get on and both of us let's get on in Europe, as we've been doing." Postecoglou and Marianiakis will both hope that Earnshaw's sentiments ring true for the wider Nottingham Forest fanbase, as their season continues to take a nosedive heading into the international break.